So I'm in France, and I'm in Annecy, and everyone is cycling. I mean, it's just like Cycle City, baby, Cycle City. And they've got the most amazing bike lanes you can imagine, and I'm on one right now. Bloody hell, some people cycling fast around these corners.
So why am I here? Some research, my friends, some research for the Norwegian government, but more about that later. And of course, some pleasure too. It's been a long COVID lockdown, and it was good to visit some friends, especially when they live here.
Come on, Camille, you've got to get in as well. Yeah, look at this, isn't this so nice? 40 kilometers, Hannah. 40, say it in French.
40 km, ça veut dire 40 km.
40 km.
And how old are you?
T'as quel âge?
No.
6 years old.
Yeah, I'm excited. France, baby.
So France is the #1 bike tourism destination on the planet, and for good reason. And that's not just because it's got warm weather and great food, but more towards the attitude and commitment to cycling as a recreational activity. There are over 3,000 kilometres of marked cycle routes across the country, and that continues to expand yearly. I decided I would cycle around Lake Annecy with a few mountain detours to see what exactly France does so well and what Norway can learn from it.
So they have these barriers that you come to because there's like zebra crossings or pedestrian crossings, and it's just a clever way to prevent any accidents. So you have to really slow down here. Bonjour. France, you're doing pretty good so far. So there's a small part of the lake, right, that doesn't have a bike lane around it right as of yet, but they're building one, right? So what they've done is just put bike markers on the main road to show traffic that you have to share this with cyclists, okay? So this is the bike I rented. It was the last road bike, and I didn't book in advance because I didn't know if I was going to ride or not, so I was so lucky to get this bike. When you're just going away for a couple of days, you don't want to have faff around having to bring your bike with you. It costs a lot of money, so just being able to rent a bike for a day or two is ideal. But getting a road bike is so hard in a lot of places because you just end up having all the touristy bikes, just to ride around the city or just do some flat riding. So always check if you can get a city bike, get a road bike.
And oh boy, do you have options. There are 10 bike rental shops in Annecy, and there are 7 more around the lake. But none of that would have occurred unless, first of all, the local government build the infrastructure, which then supports the local economy. It's not the opposite way round.
If you build, he will come.
Alright, so the climb has now become considerably harder, but I think we got 2Ks to the top. We're 940 metres above sea level. I love these signs, they're awesome. So we're at the top of the first climb, and it wasn't too difficult, to be honest. It was just reasonable. It was a little bit tough at the end, but no major problems. Got a long descent down now, down back to like 400 metres, and then we're going to go around a little bit around the lake and then do the other climb, which is basically the other mountain range, the other side of the lake.
This is about 20 kilometers from Annecy, and it is filled with recreational cyclists. And this is where Norway could learn a lot. Now, to be fair, in the cities, Norway has done a very good job over the past 5 to 7 years of improving cycling infrastructure. There is still much to be done, but cycling has unsurprisingly increased dramatically in the cities. However, it's out of the cities where there has been lack of investment for decades. This might look like a good cycling lane out of Oslo, but you have to share it with pedestrians and cyclists coming the opposite way. There is no system, and it causes all sorts of problems at the weekends when kids and families are walking down here. Then we have the tunnel passes that have had a landslide at some point and thus have been left abandoned for decades, as there's no budget to fix these roads. However, there are many cheap ways to improve cycling on the open road. In France, on popular climbs, they have put cycling signs on the tarmac warning road users to take care. And it works because majority of cars were very respectful for me going up and down. You share the road.
1,650 meters above sea level. 50 meters to go. Oh my god, I'm so tired. That was a harder climb than I thought. And I'm so hungry. I hope there's a cafe up at the top here. I was promised there was.
It is unfair to compare France to Norway, as France is the home of cycling and light years ahead of most countries. But just a weekend in Annecy and there is so much you can learn. And in the next video, I get to explain in detail what Norway could do to improve its cycling infrastructure to the organisation that is in charge of it. And what came from it was very interesting.
This one.
Vinaigrettes, ground eggs and apple.
Our translator. Doing good, Teo.
It's doing really good.
It's doing really good. Yeah.
That's what I'm here for.